The formal launch has happened, and the countdown to trading under CFTA rules 12 months from now begins. But between now and the 1st of July 2020, there's still a lot of work that needs to be done. Some countries, for instance, are still concerned about potential revenue losses that may come with this free trade area.
Let's take myth by myth. Tariffs. What is the CFTA going to do? The CFTA is going to take away about 6% of the tariffs. We're going to go down to zero on almost 90% of the goods over a period of 10 years. Essentially, we're hoping, and that's what we've seen in many other with many other free trade area agreements, is that you create more jobs, you create more businesses, you diversify the economy, and that gives you more growth. So you get more value-added tax, you get more personal income tax, you get more. So what you lose on the tariff side, you gain on the production and the value-added side, because you're creating more industry, you're diversifying.
To deal with that specific problem, however, the AfCFTA Bank has offered one solution.
Our board has approved a $1 billion CFTA adjustment facility to support countries that may suffer fiscal revenue losses as a result of the CFTA implementation. We hope that this will help countries to accelerate the ratification of the CFTA.
By removing tariffs on about 90% of goods that are traded within the region and non-tariff barriers as well, the CFTA aims to boost the portion of intra-African trade from about 15 or 16%, where it is at the moment, to at least 60% by 2022. But remember, a lot of that trade, especially outside the monetary unions, tends to take place in a third currency. To come to Niger from Kenya, for instance, my team used an Ethiopian airline, and our tickets are priced in US dollars. Now, the AfCFTA Bank is estimating that cost of currency convergence on transactions of that nature, from the Kenyan shilling to the US dollar to Ethiopian birr, costs at least $5 billion a year across the continent. Now, of course, there's also no escaping the wider context in which this trade deal was arrived at a time when the United States has ignited disputes with the EU, her North American neighbors, China as well, and at the same time blocked the appointment of new judges at the WTO. The CFTA sort of stands out as a reminder that even in a cynical age of narrow self-interest, sometimes countries can still put their common interests over and above the national ones.
It's a path towards creating an internal market. And I know it is difficult to convince people that you're serious about this. I went through this in the European Union, and I saw how difficult it was to convince the people that you are going to deliver that. But at the end of the day, I also see how, when you do that, the benefits that this brings to people. When you help very small markets that have very limited means of growing, purely trading within their borders, when you open this region to their traders, I know how much benefit this brings. So, glass half full is my theory, glass half full, and small steps forward.
So even as the world's biggest free trade area now starts to take shape, there are still negotiations left on what goods will be excluded or not from tariff liberalization lists, and what sectors still have to be shielded, and of course, plenty more. Even after this meeting here in Niger, there's still plenty of work to be done by policymakers. Ramanyang, CGTN, Niamey.